All right, so welcome back. Today in this video, we're going to be continuing our engineering economics review. We're going to be focusing specifically on cost and some of the different types of costs that can affect your projects that you're working on. So I have a few practice problems that I want to dive right into. All right. So number one says, Company ABC incurred $10,000 in costs related to factory maintenance. What type of cost is this most likely to be? All right. So our process to solve this type of problem is going to be a little different than how we typically would do, which is by writing out the given information and determining what you're trying to find and, going through the formulas that you may need to use. In this particular case, this is more conceptual and you will need some prior knowledge and some logical thinking. So as we go through these, we'll talk about some of the things that you might need to know. So what type of cost is this going to be? It's a lot of maintenance. It's taking place, $10,000 worth. And you need to figure out what type of cost it is. So is it a fixed cost? I would say no, but why? All right. So fixed cost, it is not fixed cost. Fixed cost would be something, a type of cost that stays the same. So if you have let's say, you have to pay rent to be able to, run your factory. You may have rent that costs $3,000 per month. If you decide that you want to make, let's say your factory is a prescription, you're making prescriptions, and you decide that you're only making 100 prescriptions in the first month, and then the next month you make 1,000 prescriptions. Either way, you're going to have that fixed cost to make sure that you pay the rent each month for $3,000 a month. So that's fixed cost. It's not varying. All right, variable cost. Would this be considered a variable cost? I would say maybe. Variable cost typically are costs that depend on volume. So, or the amount that you're producing. So for example, if you're making prescriptions in the first month, you make 100 prescriptions. Now you need, those little orange caps that the orange basically containers that they put them in with the white caps for your prescription. Now that means you need 100 caps. All right. But this type of cost is variable because in the event that the next month, you could have 3,000 prescriptions, which means you need to have 3,000 caps. So variable costs deal more with products more than anything. So I would say that variable costs, this is not really a product. It's more of labor that's involved, because you're going to have to go through, somebody is having to check what needs to be maintained, right? All right, so indirect labor cost. So I would say yes, when you have labor cost, it's associated to the product in a way where you're having to do some type of labor. So a direct labor cost would be somebody running an assembly line. And so if they stay for 8 hours, you know that they can put together 100 prescriptions. Now, an indirect labor cost would be this particular example where you need someone to make sure that the factory is maintained and that the different belts are running, right? So you need a person that does labor. But this is not all the time. This is something that happens indirectly, and it's not necessarily associated with the prescriptions, unless, of course, something bad happens and the belt stop working. But it's one of those things where as long as the factory's producing, it's great, but there may be some labor that's needed indirectly to make sure that things still function. So C is going to be great. And then D, direct material costs. Well, this is not a material cost because somebody's, having maintenance. Now it could be maybe an indirect material cost depending on how much they may need lube or something to help with maintenance or these type of things, but it's not one that is like a direct material cost would be the pills that you're actually putting in, right? You know that in order to get business, the pills need to be in the caps. That's how you're providing your service. So so C will be the best answer for this one. All right. So that was our prior knowledge that we would need to know, right? All right. So number 2 says XYZ Corporation paid $2,500 in salaries to its production line workers. How should this cost be classified? Right. Okay. So we have fixed cost, which this could vary, right? This definitely could vary. So nope. Variable cost, does it 2,500 salaries? So these are people dealing with labor, line workers, right? So nope. Indirect labor cost. No, this is directly tied to what's being produced. It's not indirect. It's going to be direct labor. All right, and then I have number 3 that will not fit on the page unless I hold my iPad screen. So bear with me. All right, so this one says a company is considering whether to purchase a new machine for $50,000. The cost of the old machine will be replaced. The cost of the old machine, which will be replaced, is $30,000. What type of cost is the $30,000 cost of the old machine? Okay, so incremental cost means cost that happens in different increments. So that would be like every quarter you need to buy a new blade for the machine. Right? Average cost, that is what it sounds like. And I would say incremental is not what this is, because it's not happening over a few different times. Like this is being completely replaced. Whole thing is being gotten rid of. So average cost is what it sounds like. It's the average of the cost. So I know that's wrong, because if I add up 30,000 and 50,000, the average cost would be it wouldn't be 30,000. So I know that's wrong. Sunk cost is when you basically are throwing away something. You put money into something, breaks down, you just get rid of it, getting rid of the old thing, and you replace it. So sunk cost is the best answer so far. And then variable cost, something that changes and is also depending on the amount of volume that's taking place. And so this is not the case here. We're just getting rid of the machine being replaced. We put money into it, and that money has sunk, right? We've lost that money. So sunk cost is going to be our best answer. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we'll try to circle it. So as you see, it is in fact, your answer is in fact C. All right. So that concludes this section of the engineering economics cost portion of the review. In the next video, we're going to be looking at analysis, figuring out how do you break even on a project, comparing benefit and cost analysis, sustainability, and things like that. So hopefully this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next